All right, it says we're live, so here we go. Hi, everybody. My name is Shay, and this is a continuation of a live stream that I started this morning on Twitch. I got a phone call that had to be dealt with, so we had to take a break for a while, but I am back. We were having some sound issues on the stream from Twitch earlier today, and so hopefully those have been resolved by moving back to YouTube, and we have a better connection this time around. So if you are here and in the chat, then let me know if the sound quality is better this time around, and hopefully it is, because that would be great compared to what we were dealing with earlier. So yeah, I'm working on my August map for my patrons on Patreon, and the theme of this map is going to be something very fantastical. I'm in the process of drawing an interpretation of a dragon. So yeah, just having fun with that. Hello, Michael, how are you? I'm glad the sound quality is good. Hi, Owen. Put my glasses on here so I can actually read the chat from a distance. The sound quality on Twitch was terrible. We were having a lot of trouble with it, so figured we'd come back here. I don't think that the switch to Twitch was something that really bore a lot of fruit for me, so I don't know that I'm going to continue streaming over there. The YouTube setup is simpler and much more straightforward and all of that kind of thing. I'm glad you're doing okay. That's awesome. Hello, Patrick. How are you? YouTube is more user-friendly for sure. I find that to be the case. Oh, no, I was not keeping it on the low key. I had tried a platform switch to see if it would be different, on the advice of a couple of other people who are cartographers, do the thing. It seems to be a very popular platform, but I don't know that it's the right one for me. I will be able to stream tomorrow before we leave for our trip. So there will be a stream tomorrow morning. And if you guys want to come hang out, you're welcome to do that. I'm struggling with managing Instagram and Twitter. I don't Twitter. Twitter is a platform that I just avoid like the plague. I find it so overwhelming. Your Facebook community looks fantastic, Michael. I have a small and loyal following, but yours is pretty active. There's a lot going on there. I think you post more stuff than I do, though. I wonder if I should be a bit more personal and personable on my Facebook community. It's always so hard to know like what that balance is between like sharing your real life and sharing just your work. Social media is hard. Like, legit, it's a very difficult thing to manage. It's why companies have entire firms of people to just do it for them. Need a reference photo here. There we go. I do know that. I think there's a lot of uncertainty when it comes to building brand, and the fact that, like, as artists, you have to do all of your own branding and social media and stuff like that. Like, it's really hard to know what works for you versus what works for other people. I think what's really difficult is just not knowing if stuff is fruitful or not. Like, I don't know what kind of posts are gonna get what kind of reactions, and so I don't know which posts to make that would attract people. I think part of it also is, like, I'm a fairly private person, so I don't necessarily wanna have, like, my whole life out there for people. There's just a lot of oversharing and stuff that just makes me uncomfortable, so why would I do that? I've only recently tried to incorporate Twitter and Instagram because Rabble Rabble, other fantasy illustrators and incredible. Yeah, Rabble Rabble, for sure. I felt that way about Discord. I started a Discord quite some time ago thinking it would be, like, a nice way to kinda continue the chats from the live streams, but it just never got the traction, and it was one more platform to have to monitor. And I don't wanna get to a point where I'm losing the time that I should be spending drawing to managing social media platforms. So, that was also a consideration for me. I like Instagram as a platform. I find it really low maintenance. Um, and I find that out of all the platforms that I'm on, it's the most flexible with curation in order to see the stuff that I want to see. Um, and I enjoy that aspect of it very much. Um, yeah, pet photos for sure. I do have a studio dog. He's pretty wonderful. He's sitting on the couch behind me, just kind of watching me do my thing right now. Um, I don't know anything about hashtag metrics. Um, I don't even know how to like check and see if they're working. I literally just put the hashtags on that I feel are interesting and relevant and leave it alone. I'm sure there's a way to like understand that stuff, but I'm also sure that I don't understand it right now. Yeah, I think that that's how it works with the prompting other users. Um, but I just don't know much about it. Dennis, hey, how are you? Nice to see you. Thank you. I'm glad you like him. I'm enjoying him as well, even though he is many, many, many tiny circle slash square shape things. It is a party now. I'm doing okay. I'm a little bit wiped out with the amount of emotional lifting I've been doing for other people in the last little bit. But I'm trying to be a good friend and make sure that the people that I care about are well taken care of. So that's been a very large part of life lately. All right, how is this going to go on this leg? I think, well, this is the August Patreon map. I honestly do not know what's going on with it other than this lizard guy right now. Um, I have been struggling so hard to find any kind of inspiration and motivation this month, like just with everything that's going on right now. Um, but I know that I need to get this done, and I need to get it done for my patrons because I have a commission map for a novel that needs to be done by the end of the month as well. So this needs to be taken care of and done as elegantly as possible for my patrons, and then I got to crack into this other map. So I don't know what's going on with this. Hopefully we find something that is beautiful and looks good, because that would be really great. Pitter patter, yeah, for sure. D&D campaign has been paused for a couple of weeks with all of the stuff that's been going on. It directly impacts one of my campaign members, so there's been a lot of game nights being used to make sure that people are okay and getting the downloads and stuff like that. My people are currently in the Feywild and are, deadline set lights the fire for sure. That is absolutely true. I do so much better with deadlines, but I really, really am terrible at imposing them upon myself. So it's better when there's an external thing making that happen for me. But yeah, so they're in the Feywild. They have done 2 of the 3 trials that the dragon Tessarian has challenged them to do to prove their worthiness to borrow her Lyre of Building. She has recently been outed as one of the PC's mother, actually. Arcus was found on the doorstep of a church as an infant and never knew who his family was as a result of that. And it turned out that his mother was a song dragon. The song dragon's name is Tessarian. And she's been in the Feywild this entire time for her own reasons and never expected to see the child she'd had to give up. And then he kind of appeared on her doorstep through a twist of fate. And when they were going through the trial of strength, they encountered a djinn in the dungeon who offered to answer them a question. And both of them asked a question at the same time in game, and I could not tell who spoke first. So instead of like having one of them speak first and the other one miss out on the opportunity to ask their question, I had it so that the djinn sprouted a second head and answered both of their questions. And so Arcus's question was about how to deal with the summer court so that he could get this Lyre of Building. And Daria's question was about Arcus's parentage and trying to solve that mystery. And so the djinn was like, yeah, your parents are here. Like, you've already met them. You need to go back and talk to them about this. And Arcus was like, wait, what? And like, that wasn't like how I had planned for the reveal to go. I had much larger plans involving like him arriving in the summer court and having all of this stuff happen, because he was actually conceived in the Queen of Summer's bed while his father had been the Summer Queen's consort before he had gotten out of that kind of indentured servitude. And so, yeah, I had planned this big reveal for when he got to court and have the palace wards recognize him and all of this stuff. And yeah, that got completely circumvented. So it was kind of funny. My players are really clever sometimes. Sometimes it's like kind of frustrating, but other times I'm just really proud of them. So it was good. was really good. So yeah, they're currently 2 quests down out of the 3 quests that have been set. They've done the test of strength and the test of cleverness, and the last one is the test of honor. So I have my bag is downstairs, but I can go get it so I can read you guys what I found online and kind of come up with myself to be the tests if you guys want to hear it. Let me know. I can do that. I miss gaming. We haven't gamed in like probably a month at this point, and I miss it a lot. A lot of the stuff for the tests of strength, cleverness, and honor, I've borrowed from various places and like other DMs on Reddit and stuff like that. So I definitely can't claim that it's original stuff, but it's interesting. And I think whoever did come up with it just deserves a medal. Like some of it is so ingenious, just really, really brilliant. You just finished session 2 of your first game in ages. Congratulations, Dennis. That's awesome. It is totally fun to get to play again. Absolutely. I do need to draw. Michael, you are absolutely correct. We've got to crack into this and just keep at her. I'm really struggling with like the COVID malaise, as I call it, to find motivation to get my work done and like actually sit myself at my desk. It's been really challenging because the army up here has been instructed that unless you're essential and required in the office, that you are to stay home. So Dave is home during the day all the time now. And I find that a little bit difficult because I feel like I should be hanging out with him constantly, so that he's got company and stuff like, and like I don't waste the opportunity to see him and stuff. But that means that I am not spending the time I need to spend in my office working. So I'm out of frame. Oh, I am too. Sorry about that. It's because I've got this turned the long way. So that's a thing. My players will probably not watch this video. Probably not. I don't think they watch my streams on the regular. So we were activated for COVID protests, etc. And I've been working on MBA and lockdowns, so I feel you there. Yeah, for sure. Like Dave is set to go back to Latvia for 30 days or so, leaving on the 27th of August. They're quarantining in Kingston for 2 weeks prior to flying over. And then in the field in Latvia doing training exercises for the 30 days. And then he comes home and he's going to be allowed to self-isolate at home on the return, which I'm grateful for. But it'll be a little bit weird having him go again. So for sure. Watching streams live is the juice. Watching after is less exciting. I can imagine. I can imagine that's true. Latvia is nice. Yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed the pictures that he took while he was there. It seemed like a beautiful place. Yeah, back in the field so quick, hey? That's definitely part of the gig. Latvia is part of NATO. Yep. I think, anyway. Lots of joint operations going on there right now. Lots and lots of people sending troops and support and stuff. Yeah, democracy, for sure. Yes, I get that. I don't have enough chocolate or rum for it either. Why is all the rum gone? Reasons. Yeah, no doubt. Sound is still good? Awesome. Thank you. Perfect. Patrick said that my sound was cutting out so badly this morning. It was what, a B-57 bomber? Yeah, being a player is a big thing. I miss it a lot too. I love DMing, like, don't get me wrong, it's really exciting, but it's also a lot of pressure, and I do miss it quite a bit. A damaged B-17. Thank you. I'm glad you remember, I didn't. Sorry about that. Yeah, and I mean, I think the thing is that you do get roped into being a GM by default, like, because there's always so many more people who wanna play than who wanna run things. And I do know that there's a lot of players who wouldn't make good DMs, but I think there's a lot of people that would make decent DMs if they just gave it a shot. Oof, in an hour. That's so fast. So fast. I do a lot of, like, straight up improvisation, um, and I feel very lucky that my players are super into that, and the 3 of us have, like, really great synergy that makes that work. But I like having more stuff prepped, like, it just makes me feel more confident to have a map that I have in front of me, even if they can't see it, and, like, have all of my encounters laid out and stuff like that. Rely on improv, but prep time always makes that way better. For sure, for sure. Yeah, and playing online, you really it's unforgivable. You have to have, like, a map or at least something for people to look at. Absolutely. Absolutely. Alright, Dragonfly, let's look at your wings again. Come on, phone. What's your matter? Yeah, I agree, and, like, one of the ways that I kinda deal with it is just making sure that my world building is really, really fleshed out, because as long as my world building is really tight, then improvising is way easier to do, right? Um, my 005 is just about dead again. Do I have another one? Yes, I do. How's the tip on that one? Marginally better. All right. I go through these pens so fast. Yeah, absolutely. If you understand your setting, the rest is easier. For sure, for sure. Welcome back. Yeah, I find that that happens all the time, Patrick. I'll, like, noodle into something that is completely unnecessary for me to noodle into, but then it becomes relevant later. I agree, it's way harder for an online game. I feel like you have to rely on a railroad structure a lot more for an online game than you do for in person or just, like, through Skype or something as opposed to something like Roll20. What you pay attention to grows. Yeah, absolutely. Do them on Discord via Theater of the Mind. Yeah, absolutely. We play when we can't play in person, via Facebook Messenger, and it works. That'd be fun. I'd love to listen into one of your games. Right on, guys. That sounds great. Nice. I'm glad it's picking back up now, Dennis. That's exciting. The relevance of gods. That's always a fun theme to kind of deal with, hey? Catching up, catching up. What does the industrialization look like in fantasy? Yes, that's a good question. Um, Agical combustion? Magical combustion? Question mark? Have I ever considered the idea of an art video conference, everyone working on a project with their cameras aimed at their art? My live streams actually came out of a practice that I used to have when I lived in a larger city where most of my friends were, called the Art Jam, where everybody just came over to somebody's house and you had to bring a project. That was the rule. You could be learning how to DJ, you could be playing guitar, you could be knitting, you could be drawing, you could be whatever, but you had to have a project. You weren't allowed to just come and hang out if you weren't doing something. And so now that I don't live there, I've been trying to find ways to kind of get that back. And the live stream is definitely partly fulfilling that void for me. I think it would be more fun to do it like you're saying, having everybody together, which is kind of what I was hoping for with the Discord, but that didn't really end up working the same way. I don't know if I gave it enough time and enough effort, but it just ended up not being a thing. So it was, you know, kind of where my heart and my intentions were with the whole thing. It is hard to draw along in chat still, for sure. I think I honestly think like I would almost prefer there to be a channel on someone else's Discord so that I don't have to have the additional like social media burden of having to maintain the Discord of my own. Um, but that's a huge ask. So oh, Adjika is a place. I follow. That would be really cool, Michael. A creator channel, yeah. An artist channel. For now, you have a certificate to finish. What kind of certificate are you making? That is super cool, Michael. Well, that looks great. Look at your border work. That's gorgeous. Let me see if I can make this bigger for everybody. Isn't that gorgeous? I love the wax seal and the ribbon. That's great detail. Looks so good. I love the gold work you're doing on there too. Nicely done. Looks like it's 8 by 10. A4. Okay. That makes sense. Cardstock makes sense. Absolutely. That sounds really cool, Patrick. Yeah, lurk away. Do what you gotta get done. Oh, all right. So let's redraw this border and figure out where this compass rose is going and all of that jazz. So hmm. Powerful undead. That is a thing that I actually was working with extensively in the first portion of this campaign. Um, I am curious, I guess, to know what kind of powerful undead you're talking about. Liches, like how do liches become liches? Why do liches become liches? How do you stat out a lich? Like, can you refine your question a little bit? I kind of love this really haphazard linear border I've got going on, although I feel it's very small in the central space for the map that I would like to do. I do still kind of love it though. Oh, Dennis, that sounds intense. How about a lich that is so old they forgot they are a lich? It's a good way to lower the lethality and keep the party thinking. I mean, that's an option too, absolutely. What I had going on was a couple of necromancers who were a couple, Bartholomew and Emily. And they had decided that in true, like, old-fashioned love story, they wanted their love to live forever. So they were going to pursue undead life together and do that. Bartholomew did not survive or successfully transition into being a lich. And the remainder of the components that he needed in order to make that a successful transition ended up being destroyed by Arcus, although Arcus didn't know that at the time. And so Amelie was waiting to finish perfecting the recipe of turning into a lich before starting it. She'd continued Bartholomew's research and gone about doing whatever she was doing. Yeah, so I had part of the campaign being trying to thwart her, which ended up being like really good campaign vibes, I think. Oh boy, chat blew up. I have a pretty cool lich in my setting. A court wizard was making a lich spell for a queen, and the entire court killed each other trying to get the vial once it was completed. The lich was so old they forget about the lich. The person who took the vial ended up becoming the lich, but now there is an undead-ish blood feud between the families involved, of course, as there should be. The lich at this point is obsessed with the throne that they took and boards themselves in the throne room and will not leave, so this curse plays out in the countryside and won't end until the queen's remains are back on the throne. I really liked the star-crossed lover angle. The failing of Amelie's family has actually had like profound impacts on the setting. Part of what she was searching for lichdom for was they had a stillbirth, her and Bartholomew, and had otherwise been unable to get pregnant. And so she had buried the baby with the hopes of being able to resurrect the baby at some point. And be able to carry forward that mothering instinct and that family aspect of things. Um, that infant uh, corpse is buried at the bottom of the base of what is known as the winter tree, which is a crystalline tree in the courtyard of the primordial towers. The crystal tree was planted to protect the baby's grave, to prevent anything from fucking with it before Emily was ready to resurrect, and also serves as a doorway to the Feywild and the Winter Court, and is currently protected by a young creature named Verity, who looks and behaves as if they were about 8 years old, but are actually like a really old, powerful fae. So that's been really interesting to navigate too. And like Emily ended up taking on 2 apprentice wizards at some point, who were going through a similar star-crossed lovers kind of situation, and started training them up, providing them refuge from their situations. Like she wasn't without her own compassion and her own motives. I do believe that a sympathetic villain is the best kind. So she was very like fully realized as a character, and just a very interesting person on her own, I think, her storyline. So that's always a priority for me. I wanted that sympathy, that perhaps tugs at the heartstrings kind of thing. Because I'm all about the emotional entanglement. I think you get a lot of good play out of that. And my players are also very much like the kind of players that want all of the world building and all of the compelling NPCs, and they're the kind of people that ask me for the words to a lullaby that the trees sing because they want to know what the words are, which is like completely lovely, but also sometimes maddening because you're like, I don't know what the words are. It's just a lullaby that the trees sing. That kind of thing. Hi, Saxon. What you doing, baby? So what will it take to get the queen's remains back on the throne, Dennis? Like, do they mean the literal, like, corpse? Or does it mean something else? How is the blight manifesting in the countryside? Super enjoying my story. Thank you, Michael. Not 100% percent sure yet. I'm thinking it could be literal remains or an ancestor, but I feel the ancestor angle is a common trope. The countryside has undead armies of the noble families duking it out periodically, causing most of the living population to flee. Yes, that would be a problem. All right, see you in a minute, Patrick. I feel like the ancestor thing is a trope for a reason. So the countryside is dotted with abandoned villages, overgrown areas, etc. There is one road set up through the land from the two neighboring countries that has been blessed so they can cross. Okay, that's cool. So the countryside, yep, that's the one I just read. Awesome. Oh, I don't have my cup and I am thirsty. This is a problem. Do. Have a good day at work, Owen. Love you. So you love creepy lullabies? Why do you love creepy lullabies, Michael? Yeah. Oh, for sure. Agreed. Yes, I agree with you. Hocus Pocus was such a great movie. Yep, totally great for setting tone. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. I think it will do the job. Now to figure out what the map is. Of the lair. Well, that's an interesting idea. Literally, here be dragons. Yeah, no kidding. Blasted pixie magics indeed. Oh my goodness, you guys, it's so hot in here. Roasting. Nope, no AC. So one mountain. Like a lonely mountain. Antisocial mountain peak introvert. That's fabulous. I love it. A fan blowing all the time. Well, I turned off the AC that's in the bedroom, which is across the upstairs, because I thought that was contributing to some of the noise issues we were having on Twitch this morning. But I didn't think turning it off when it's literally like around 2 corners from my office would create such a differential in the heat in here. So that's a thing. I think I need to sit with the idea for this map for a bit more, you guys. Friends, folks. I gotta quit saying you guys. That is a hard habit to kill. I like the idea of drawing the lair. I really do. I think that's fun. But like, how do I draw it? Do I draw it like a battle map? Do I draw it like a landscape? Like I'd been planning on doing this like one of my landscapes because that's what my Patreon is known for, is my landscape maps. So landscape and small insert. Yeah, maybe. What do you mean by people, Patrick? Oh, as a word instead of guys or dudes. Yeah, no, people is another good option. You're absolutely correct. Yeah, National Geographic, I have such a soft spot in my heart for them. I grew up with those magazines. They are awesome. I learned so much from them growing up. Okay, well, I think I'm going to call it for now. I will be live streaming again tomorrow. Let's convene here instead of on Twitch, for those of you who feel like joining me. I'll kick off again at 9:30 my time, which is our usual time. And hopefully go for another hour and a half or 2-hour stretch. Just try to get as much done on this as I can before we leave on our trip. So this will be, it won't cause an exodus if I do one ISO or other style map. You are not wrong. ISO might be fun. ISO might be a lot of fun. But I will think about it some more today and hopefully sit down and work on it a bit more this afternoon. All right, take care, my folks. I will see you hopefully tomorrow. In the meantime, wishing you all the productivity and good vibes. Catch you later. Love you much. Bye.